Today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to succeed with Facebook ads when you are just starting your Shopify store. Before I get into the nitty gritty of it, guys, remember I give away a free mentorship call every single video, and all you got to do to win that is like, comment, and subscribe. And the winner from the last video is right here. It's Mark. Mark, congratulations, my friend. You won. And if you'd like to set up a mentorship call with me, just click the first link in the description and we can set up a one-on-one call where we can discuss whatever you want with your Shopify store. So the honest truth about Facebook ads, guys, this is what nobody else is telling you on the internet, is that it's a total bro science. So all the information that I'm giving you is what has worked for me. So it might not work for you, and there's so many other variables involved, and I don't really understand the full scope of Facebook's advertising algorithm. So that's just something to consider. So, I am literally a bro scientist when it comes to Facebook ads. I know what works for me, I know what works for other people, but when it actually comes to the back end and the whole coding behind it, I obviously have no idea. So it is a bro science, and it's a lot of speculation among this community. So for this reason, you guys always need to be testing. Never forget that. Now, skip this part if you're lazy and actually want to fail. So this is some housekeeping that you want to have done before you actually launch your first advertising campaign. So before you start advertising, what I would recommend is you order your product to your house and actually get a feel for it. Figure out whether you like the product, what kind of angle you want to target it from, because it's really important to think about what selling features you're going to talk about with your product. Definitely, you must take custom pictures or hire somebody to do it for you. So you can buy a white box from Amazon and just take pictures. Now, this is really important because you need pictures to not look like a dropshipping store, because customers and people who are coming in from Facebook are getting more intelligent now. So, they're not easily falling for these kind of gimmicks anymore. And create some ads of people acting as though they just received their product. So, have a video of somebody literally holding up their iPhone just like this vertically. Hey, just received my new microphone from, this place. And that's a really great ad to put into your IG stories, or kind of have them be like, hey, just received my new product. Look how easy it is to use, right? So that's a great way to make an advertisement. And it's really cheap. You can pay one of your girlfriends. It's better to use girls. And, it'll be like $25, $50, really not expensive. And do some filming of it in use. So I've already just breezed over that point. All right, guys, so let's actually jump into now the Facebook ads component of it. We're going to actually talk about the 3 strategies that I'll be talking about in this video. So there's actually 3 options to take when you're first starting. And the first one is to start with conversion campaigns. The second is to start with engagement campaigns. And the third is to start with link clicks. Now, I'm actually going to be talking about using both of them, about using engagements and link clicks simultaneously to start testing lookalike audiences. And we're actually going to stay away from conversion campaigns. And I'll tell you guys why in just a second. So number 1 is conversion campaigns. They're very expensive and you get really little data. So the cost per click for a conversion campaign when you're optimizing for a purchase is going to be more expensive, and you actually have very little data in terms of what kinds of people are purchasing your product. So it's going to be pretty difficult to start getting purchases at the beginning. So remember, you want to think about every dollar that you spend on Facebook ads as data testing. So you're just getting in more data about your product, about who's interested in your product, and that's going to help you make decisions in the future. So what you're going to want to do is stay away from conversion campaigns, because it just costs so much money to get the data that you need to start becoming really profitable on Shopify and starting to scale. And, I would recommend this conversion campaign strategy if you don't really want to do the other strategies, if you have a huge budget. If you're willing to blow $1,000 just on conversion campaigns and you don't really care, then yeah, go ahead. You can start with conversion campaigns and just do some single interest targeting, optimizing for purchases, and eventually you will get somewhere. That's just how Facebook ads work. So again, for most of you guys, because I'm assuming most of you are just beginning, you're not really willing to put more than $10 into an ad set, which is fine. I don't recommend starting this way. This is not the way you should be starting. The actual strategy that I'm going to be teaching in this video is going to start now. So it's going to be the engagement campaign. And what you're going to want to do is actually have a video ready. And this video can be really easy to make. All you have to do is take some pictures and put into a slideshow, or you could do what I've recommended before, where you just record somebody getting the product with the vertical camera. So step 1 is just to create a single interest ad set and to use engaged shoppers if that interest is 100 million plus people. All right, so if it's a huge audience, I would recommend just narrowing it down with engaged shoppers. Otherwise, you can just leave it the way it is. So you're going to want to optimize the delivery for impressions with this campaign. So make sure that where you have the option on how to optimize the ad, make sure it's for impressions and not for engagement. We're actually not going for engagement with this strategy. We're trying to do impressions. Now run this ad until the video has at least 50,000 views. Now this should cost somewhere around like $20, but what I would really recommend is going even above and beyond that, 100K, 150K. Again, the more views you have, the better the lookalike audience that we're going to be making in the next step is going to be. So if you do have the money to spend, definitely go to 100,000, 120,000. It's going to be better. But if you have to stop at the absolute minimum, my recommendation is 50,000 views. Now, for the placements, it's going to be very simple. We're going to leave it to Facebook and InstaFeed. Just keep it simple. Let's not, get everywhere. Just leave it with those. And the country is going to be the big four. I recommend sticking to the big four or even just the United States, because most of your traffic is going to be coming from the United States in general. That's my experience. I don't know if it's going to be the same for yours, but if you are getting more traffic from a certain country, then you can just optimize the ad in that regard and maybe change it to just the UK or just Canada. Totally up to you. So the engagement campaign video, number 2, is, so once all this is done, once we get to that 50,000 mark, the minimum, we're going to start creating lookalike audiences, and this is where Facebook gets really powerful. I'm going to be explaining this step in a little further detail on the next slide. So 75% and 95% video view lookalike audiences. So this is basically the first lookalike audience we'll be able to make with an engagement campaign. It's going to be the easiest one. And this essentially is going to find people who are similar to those who are watching 75% and 95% of our video. And obviously, if you're watching that long of the ad, chances are you're pretty interested in the product. So we're going to create 5 audiences, and it's going to be 0 to 1%, 1 to 2%, 3 to 4%, 4 to 5%, 5 to 8%. All right, and you can make those however you want, but basically that's what I like to do because, like I said before, Facebook is kind of a bro science. We don't actually know what's going on in the back end, and sometimes it's not logical. So basically these percentages talk about how closely related the audience that Facebook is going to create is to the original audience that you're making a lookalike audience out of. So, 0 to 1% is obviously going to be the closest, 2 to 3% is going to be a little bit further away, but sometimes it's the 5 to 6% or even the 6 to 8% that does better than the 0 to 1%. So that's why you got to test these ad sets. So you're going to create those 5 audience, and you're going to create a conversion campaign optimizing for purchases. And you're going to use these audiences, these lookalike audiences that you've made to start testing for purchases. And again, we're going to stick to placements for Facebook and InstaFeed, and the countries are going to be the big 4. Now, in this step, you might not be able to make lookalike audiences for all these 4 countries because you might not have enough data from all these 4 countries. So make lookalike audiences only for the countries that you can. So try Australia, try Canada, try US, try UK, but chances are you might only be able to make US, and that's totally fine. Whatever lookalike audience you can make, that's what you're going to put into your conversion campaign. All right, guys? And, here what you're going to do is just keep continuing to test these lookalike audiences. So the 0 to 1%, the 1 to 2%, like I've spoken about before. Now, what did we just do? So we started our ad campaign with awareness, and that was the engagement campaign. It was the most broad part of the funnel, the widest part of that funnel. And what we did was we narrowed it down into interest. And those are the people, obviously, who are interested. Well, we're assuming they're interested because they watch 75% or 95% of the video. And now we're going to duplicate that audience, find people exactly like those, and start at a deeper point in the funnel, closer to making the decision. And later on, in the next video, I'll be talking about how to get to that next part of the funnel, which is decision and action. All right? So I hope that part made sense to you guys. And that's going to do it for the engagement campaigns. Now we're going to be talking about the link click campaigns because a lot of people actually don't take advantage of this, and it's a super cheap way of getting traffic to your website. And again, we're going to be discussing videos. I don't have it highlighted here, but this is all about the video. So guys, in step 1, you're going to create a single interest ad set. And again, I've spoken about this. It's going to be the exact same process as in the engagement campaign. And remember, guys, for both of these, what you're going to want to do is make sure you use the same post ID. Keep the same post being used for all your ads. So all the engagement that you got from your engagement ad campaign is going to be used in your link click, and everything stays together. So the amount of views, everything, all the data is coming from the same place. It's going to make things easier in the future. Okay, so in terms of optimization, we're optimizing here for delivery for website landing page views, not just view content. So make sure that is highlighted there. And what you're going to want to do here is actually run the ad until you have at least 250 clicks. I would recommend going up to 1,000 website visits. That would work better. And with this, the cost per click is like 13 bucks. So you're really looking at like, a little less than $100 to get all these people in. At that point, the ad is going to optimize itself. Obviously, Facebook is going to figure it out, and the cost per click is going to get even lower than 13 cents. That's probably just what you're starting to look at. And finally, for placements, it's going to be Facebook plus InstaFeed. And for countries, again, we're going to leave it at the big four. But if you want to do one country at a time, that's totally fine. It's not really going to hurt you. Australia, Canada, UK, and the US are great audiences, great markets. And even if you want to go to Scandinavia or Europe, it's totally up to you. If you speak a different language, maybe German, Germans right now are becoming a very profitable niche to go into in Shopify. So you can go ahead and test that. And now the second step of the link click campaign, again, is going to be making a lookalike audience, but something more tailored towards the link clicks. So because we're getting so much traffic to our website, we can now make lookalike audiences based off of the people who are spending the most time on our website. So we have the top 25%, top 10%, and top 5%. Now, make the 10% and the 5% if you can. So if you have enough traffic coming from a single source, then you'll probably be able to make these lookalike audiences. If not, just stick to the top 25%. And again, we're going to be creating the 5 audiences based off this lookalike audience, which are 0 to 1%, 1 to 2%, 2 to 3%, 4 to 5%, and 6 to 8%. Then we're going to create a conversion campaign, optimizing for purchases, even if you don't have purchases. If you do have add to carts, you can also optimize for add to carts, and then create a lookalike audience for add to carts once you have 100 of those. And again, the placement is going to be Facebook plus Instagram feeds, and the country is going to be the big four. So, whatever you can, really, whatever you can make lookalike audiences out of is what I'd recommend doing. And obviously, if you're only stopping at 250, you might have a hard time making a lookalike audience for all 4 of them. But whatever you can make a lookalike audience out of, that's what I recommend you do. And again, strategy here is just to keep testing these lookalike audiences on conversion campaigns. So the next steps that I'm not going to be talking about in this video, but just so you guys have an idea, a vision of where everything's going to go in the future, we're going to be creating and testing new lookalike audiences. So even though I hate all of these acronyms for these words, ATC, IC, it's add to cart, initiate checkout, purchase, and top lifetime value. These are going to be some of the most profitable lookalike audiences that we'll be making later once we have enough data. Once you have a bunch of people adding your product to cart, make a lookalike audience out of those people. You need about 100. And that's when you can make a lookalike audience on add to carts and just go ahead and put that into a purchase campaign and go test that. Once you have enough initiate checkouts, purchases, once you have enough customers, you can start making a lookalike audience based off of the people with the top lifetime value. So those who are spending the most, so who are getting your upsells, who are buying multiple products on your store, we can make a lookalike audience based off of them. And that is extremely profitable, like an insane lookalike audience to be making. We're going to be optimizing your current ads, so duplicating profitable aspects. So for example, if an ad set is doing well, but it's only doing well with women and the male is just spending money, well, we can go ahead and duplicate that ad set, take out women out of it or take out men, whichever way I set it, and go test that. We're going to be scaling profitable aspects, and we're going to be retargeting, which again is another very, very profitable aspect, which I'll be talking about in a different video. Because guys, I just want to mention, if you're not retargeting, you're missing out on a huge part. Everybody says this, I know, but it's so important to even get your view content, people, retargeted. Because, if you just watch an ad once, you might not be willing to buy it right off the bat. But, if you see it 5 or 6 times, yeah, you might change your mind. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. That is how I'd recommend you get started. If you still have questions, I offer a free blueprint with my consulting calls, which you can go ahead and sign up with in the link below. Otherwise, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.